Welcome to the 12 to Marketing sales training video. In this video, we'll be talking about the basic value proposition of the new repositioned 12 to Marketing offering and just really what unique market it services and the broad spectrum of its offering, the sales funnel, and really just understanding the mechanics of what need we are servicing with this offering and what makes that so unique. So buckle up. I'll be fielding questions at the end of this video. Please feel free to engage in making notes of your questions that you have as we go along. And of course, what is great about this video is that you could watch this over and over until everything makes sense. But besides that, if there is anything that is hard to understand, please feel free to reach out to me. My name is Victor van der Spey. I'm the founder of 12 Marketing. I have had the privilege of journeying with this brand for over 20 years, and it has been a fantastic, fantastic growth and journey of development. And today, I myself, as the founder, I am extremely proud of what this brand can add, what value it can add to its markets. So coming back to, I'm trying to get my slide to move, and now it's not moving. Okay, let's see if I can get it to move with the mouse, and it's moving. Okay. So coming back to the repositioned brand, this brand is called 12-2 Marketing because the number 2 is very important in this brand, as this new repositioned offering offers 2 critical things to its new niche market. And that is that it offers the opportunity for a brand to develop brand equity and to grow its brand equity profile. And I'll be explaining that. And the second thing it does, which forms part of brand equity development, is the increased conversion rate, which is very important when we look at sales. And of course, once you understand what happens on a balance sheet, we understand that at the top of it all is the big S word, which is sales. And without conversions, we really become unstuck. And it's important to understand that the answer always is not, so to speak, really in throwing more money at the problem. So there's an interesting saying that goes, if I want apples, I'll plant an apple tree. And so I should not be upset if I don't get bananas from an apple tree. And people forget in digital marketing, we can not expect pears or bananas from an apple tree. You get what you plant. And so a lot of enterprises struggle with their conversion rate, and they try and throw a lot of money. They just try and throw more money at the problem. So in other words, they may have a 1% conversion or a 1% conversion, and they look at the budget and they say to themselves, well, if I want more sales to come out at the bottom of my funnel, and I understand my conversion is only 0.1 or 0.4 or even 1% conversion, that's my rate. If I want more sales, then the only answer for me is to increase my spend. What they fail to see is that it's not the answer, because all that happens is that the acquisition cost increases and the bottom line diminishes. The answer to this is to change the tree. So if we want a better conversion rate, we have to change the way that the tree looks or that the tree is built. In other words, if I rather want bananas than apples, I should plant a different tree. And that is what is important. It just happens to be that the same systems that we built influences and directly impacts both the equity of the brand and the conversion rates of the funnel that is built of that brand. So this is truly a very, very unique and different, special journey, for lack of a better word. It's really a very, very powerful quiver in one's hand to have as the owner or the manager of a brand. So in our brand, you'll see that there is the rocket. On our website, you also see the little robot, which is the AI tools that we use, as I call it, the cookie dough, as the technology that we've used to build our AI platforms, and the little professor, which speaks vast amounts of the specialist team that we have, which you can see on our website. Each one has its own field of speciality, making a team that really can build any brand on the face of the earth. And in doing that, increase their conversions and grow their brand equity. So welcome to the 12-2 Marketing Stable. Welcome to this short training video. Let's try and understand a little bit more about our value proposition. Now, in order to understand that, we have to understand the word equity. So if you look at our strapline, we talk about increasing conversions, which is easy for most to understand. But that hinges on a very big discussion and a crucial understanding or undertaking, and that is brand equity. The brand equity works no different, or is nothing different to any other equity. If I buy a house and I buy it for $1 million, and 20 years later I can sell it for $7 million, I have grown my equity by $6 million. Now, a brand works the same. How can I take a brand and value it and grow its equity? Well, let's look at the balance sheet, because this is where it all starts. Really, really exciting. Now, this is the typical balance sheet. This is quite a simple balance sheet. I chose an example like this just to illustrate the mechanics of the balance sheet. And this is why the average CEO has such a hard time, and the average lifespan of the average CEO is 18 months, because this is the fickle pickle they walk around with in their hand every single day. And they literally have to balance the left-hand side and the right-hand side of this sheet. That's why it's called the balance sheet. They are responsible for the assets and the liabilities of the enterprise, of which they stand at the helm of. And so many people think that they are responsible for the entire company, its people and its profits, which is all true. But at the top of it all, the cherry right at the top of that cake is this one sheet. And this is what they get judged on, or this is what they get merited on, is this one piece of paper. So on the right-hand side, or the liabilities, on the left-hand side are all the assets. And of course, the idea is to have as little liabilities and as much assets, so that the balance, the pluses and the minus, when you add the two together, that the bottom line at the bottom of this thing and the top at the bottom right-hand corner, that figure at the bottom can be the largest positive figure that one can achieve. So basic maths tell us if I have a deficit number that is larger than the positive number, I'm going to have a deficit number as a total result, right? So the CEO has a particular challenge in managing not just the liabilities. In other words, he has to make sure that the liability register goes down, that it diminishes, that it does not increase, but that it decreases. Because when that decreases, the value at the bottom right-hand corner increases. That's what he wants. That's what his board wants to hear every time they meet. On the other hand, he has the responsibility and the absolute drive to increase his asset value or as we call it, NAV value, net asset value, and that is on the left-hand side. So he wants to make sure that those values all go up. However, as all assets stand, most of them depreciate. So he has another challenge that every time this piece of paper is printed, the values on the left-hand side of this piece of paper diminishes also. and usually the values on the right-hand side increases, leaving him with a figure shrinking at the bottom right-hand corner, driving this poor man or lady or woman deeper and deeper into a ever spiraling dilemma. It's not an easy job, let me tell you that, because this is really like lining up the sun, the moon, and the stars. Now let's add another layer to this cake, shall we? And that is that, apart from all the assets on the left-hand side that naturally depreciates, we have another challenge, and that is that for a short-term tax relief, uh, I chuckle because I know this sounds to you quite funny, but to the CEO, this is not funny. For a short-term relief, the financial director, or if they use a company, possibly their chartered accountants or their auditors, right, would highly suggest that they depreciate the assets using a very special formula, giving them the most amount of tax that they can deduct off the bottom line. Just on paper, they say, right? But also what happens just on paper is that these assets drop in value even much more, which if we do the basic maths, what happens to the bottom right-hand corner value also drastically drop in value. So for short-term tax break relief, the balance sheet severely suffers. So what Mr. CEO or Mrs. CEO absolutely always passionately is looking for are assets they can put on the left-hand side that appreciate in value, that can possibly grow faster than A, the depreciation rate, and B, the liquidation rate of what the auditors or accountants may want to apply the formula for to get the tax break, right? And so they would like to buy shares, maybe land, maybe buildings, things that can appreciate in value. And this is where a very interesting conversation comes in. Since the early 2000s, and this is a war that was literally a war, I kid you not, between the world's top chartered accountants. They've been arguing for almost 10 years. And this battle finally, excuse me, came to an end in the early 2000s, where they decided, or they finally, amongst themselves, accepted that brand value is an asset, because it is an asset. And I'm going to show it to you later in this video. And if an asset, it must be given the privilege of being recorded on the balance sheet. So if you look at the balance sheet, you'll see there at the bottom of the left-hand column are intangible assets. And there you have things like goodwill and other intangible assets. Now, what auditors usually do under the heading other intangible assets, they include brand value. Now, friends, brothers, sisters, comrades, let me introduce you to the power of this asset called brand. It is extremely powerful. Look at this. This is Coca-Cola 27 years ago, right? Now, if they had a balance sheet that looked like this, and they had zero at the bottom left-hand corner there under intangible assets, they today would have been at the bottom right-hand corner there, they would have been minus $64 billion on that balance sheet. Let me repeat that. they would have been a figure less than, minus, smaller than $64 billion. So between 2006 and 2023, they started valuing their brand and tracking its equity growth because in 2005, the international body that regulates all chartered accountants, bookkeepers, and financial accountants, all these financial people, they finally agreed and passed an international law and an act that said that it is now permissible to record brand value on the balance sheet. So since 2006 till the end of 2023, just over those few years, wow, the equity profile grew by plus $64 billion. That's just the brand growth of the Coca-Cola brand. So the question now is, what about any brand? And just look at the balance sheet. If we can add all of that equity growth year on a balance sheet, imagine how happy the stakeholders will be. Imagine how much easier the CEO's job is going to be. And then go down one level, just how much, imagine how that brand manager or marketing manager could just not wipe that damn smile off his face because the CEO is going to be so happy with him. Can you see the chain reaction? Now, we've developed everything to put into your hand to let that all happen. So what is that? As a new product, a portal-driven product called Brand Tracker that we developed. And this is our latest brainchild that helped us to reposition our brand. So last year, we went through the transition phase of repositioning. And prior to that, for the 20 years prior, 12-2 Marketing was a very simplistic, what's the word I'm looking for? Not a very complicated, very simplistic marketing consultancy that mainly focused on digital marketing services and a bit of consulting work in terms of strategy consulting work. And now the brand has repositioned to all of this. So to facilitate this transition, we built this platform called Brand Tracker that allows us or facilitates us to work with brand managers and their brands, marketing managers, brand owners, so that they can value the brand and track the equity growth in the brand. Right, so more of that a little bit later. And all of this was developed around 5 particular needs that marketing managers and brand managers have right now, brand owners. And that is that they are struggling to grow brands in a data-rich environment because they are swimming in an environment that is flooded with data. Number one, they're not sure what to do in this data-rich environment. Number two, they're not sure how to make their brand decisions anymore because how they used to analyze the situation is no longer working because they're in a data-rich environment. Number three, they have no way to evaluate their brand. So let me just say this, since 2005 or 2006 for Coca-Cola, only the elite brands all over the world could afford to have their brands evaluated. Coca-Cola spends approximately $6 million every year to have their brand evaluated. Very few companies can afford such a stiff bill to have this done. Wow. Now, of course, with the help of all of this, we're making it very affordable for every brand to be able to be evaluated, for the brand to have a value, and for the equity growth of that value to be tracked. So that's point number 4. And of course, the last one is that Since the pandemic, most brand managers are now ending up doing 4 to 5 people's work because those jobs that were lost were not replaced. Those people were not hired again. So these are the 5 critical pain points that marketing managers and brand managers have. And this new offering with this new positioning that 12 Marketing has developed answers these needs and these pain points. All right. So, of course, it is a portal-driven FEP program or FEP software. It is a SaaS-driven and MarTech system, and users would be able to interact with it. Its full version will launch at the end of 2025, where we will be making it available to resellers such as brand agencies, marketing agencies, advertising agencies. But at the moment, we are the only agency that will be using this. All right, so what does this do? It assesses by means of a brand audit, it assesses the entire marketing, or it evaluates the marketing systems of the company. It evaluates the brand, and it is able to, on different dashboards, it's able to show all the analytics. We're able to print reports and a lot of things that pertains to the current status quo of that company, its marketing, its brand. And from this platform, we build a development path or development plan on how to grow the equity of this brand. Also, what comes along with this is analytics. If you looked at the 5 pain points, quite a few of the pain points revolved around the data challenge, where most of these managers are swimming in data and are not equipped to handle data. So with this offering, we're able to offer basic data analytics and able to give them quick access to brand management and brand decision making. At the end of this, our dream is for the CEO to get to the boardroom table ahead of time and sit down like they have done for years past. But instead of sitting down and waiting for the board members to arrive with butterflies in their stomach, for that CEO just to sit down, relax, call for the secretary to bring him a cup or her a cup of coffee or tea, whatever. And what a joy it will be. Just imagine what goes on in the head of that CEO because of what we as a team have done to that balance sheet and to their organization and their brand, right? So just quickly on our value proposition, which is like a 3-layered cake. Of course, our main value proposition is brand equity development, and followed by assisting the conversions of the brand conversions, and finished up by supporting services. Let's quickly look at our sales funnel. And sorry, before I get there, of course, as I've said multiple times, these are the 3 markets that this value proposition services, and that is the brand manager, the marketing manager, and the brand owner. Let's quickly look at the funnel. So we have an interesting funnel, and this is like an hourglass funnel. And so the funnel starts by a pre-consult where we build rapport and trust, because working with an enterprise's brand is a massive trusted issue. So we use the free consulting session to build brand trust, or to build trust between us and that brand manager or that management team or that brand owner or marketing manager. And from there, we gain their commitment to do an assessment, right? And from there, they are able to buy the basic analytics on a subscription, the brand track analytics that gives them basic data analytics and helps them to track the value of their brand. So how this works is that it would put their assessment on autopilot. Every 12 months. They would redo the assessment, and the tracking tool would track the new value. But of course, without developing services, without the development that was done, the brand value would really not grow much. But there is an immediate benefit. So let's just go back to our balance sheet. So remember this balance sheet. Um, there is an immediate benefit because let's say the brand is worth $1.7 million and the CEO is struggling with this balance. He's struggling balancing this balance sheet. And he's thinking, man, if I can just put another asset on this balance sheet and here's this opportunity to put the brand value on there, he's going to be very motivated to get the brand valued. So there is an immediate benefit because let's say that brand is now valued $1.7 million. He knows that he can put it on there and that value is going to shoot up and bolster the value on the balance sheet at the bottom right-hand corner. So looking at the funnel, there is definitely a massive, excuse me, a massive payoff, excuse me, and strong motivation for them to buy the assessment and to do the tracking subscription. But of course, drawing them deeper down this funnel, excuse me, they will realize that, hold on, this helped me for now, but going forward, I should not just put the new value down on my balance sheet, but at the same time, so that's the next level in the sales funnel, I should commission the brand equity development service so that this team can start working with my brand equity development so that by the next time I update this balance sheet, there's going to be a much higher equity value I put in there. And again and again, and so that I can jumpstart the equity growth cycle of this brand. So of course that runs into another funnel, which is a reverse psychology funnel, which goes into the support side, right? So the first funnel is the development funnel, and it runs into the support funnel. Remember this here, right? So the development funnel runs into the support funnel, and the support funnel is that that organization needs a lot of support. So they may call on Twelve2 Marketing to support them with digital marketing services and other supporting services, which we'll look at when we look at the product video. And from there, they'll say maybe they need some more support. They do have already got the brand tracking subscription, giving them basic data analytics. But they could say, look, it's not enough because we want to take this analytics throughout the entire organization. We want to actually have this AI technology bolted on our ERP system that would now actually manage the data between IT and marketing and production and logistics and HR, and man, the whole organization now becomes seamless and seamlessly integrated internally and externally. And that is possible with our AI and data analytics services. But that is another discussion we will have in the new year. Of course, this then goes into the highest supporting service, which is marketing as a service, where we are able to run an entire marketing department as an outsourced service. All right. I hope that this I gave you clarity on our uh, new brand positioning and just the basics of our value proposition and the niche market that we service. I will look forward to hearing your questions. Um, so stand by for video 2 on our products. We'll see you then. Bye now.